Alley Plantation in Louisiana. It is a very hot day here.
We watch the little thing. Look at it, the little thing.
Now this is inside the restaurant, which we just stayed at. And I should have shown you our food before we consumed it. It was probably a lot more appetizing. But I'm not going to have you look at our food because that's not very appetizing. But Nolan's happy, so that's good. He ate most of his food, which means it must be pretty good. Okay, there's a cat enjoying himself here, but this is where slaves used to keep chickens to supplement their rations. So there were 198 slaves here between 1836 and the Civil War, and here's the names of many of them. And there is the main house ahead of us.
Wait, no.
Were married in 1834 at the St. Louis Cathedral in New Orleans. They were both from prosperous New Orleans families. They did have a home in the French Quarter. Jacques realized this property, which included this majestic lane of oak trees, which were estimated at 100 years old at that time, the perfect place for he and his family. He acquired the estate from his brother-in-law, which was served a delicious meal seated at a table like this one, which measures 16 feet. It is solid mahogany, dates back to the 1830s. You will notice the table and chairs are very low to the floor. That is because the average height of the French Creole gentleman of that time was 5 feet 4 inches. Average height of the ladies right under 5 feet. On the table, you will notice the silverware is placed face down. This was a French Creole traditional style of the time. The silverware that we have here today does not have any monogram on it. But during Jacques and Selena's time, the family's crest was engraved on the back. That is the reason it is placed face down. Notice the size as well, it's quite large. Silverware was made of silver. The more wealth and status a family had, the larger their silverware was. Also on the table, you will notice glass containers. There's one there, and also one here. These are fly catchers. Doors and windows were open for ventilation. Insects would enter the room. These were filled with sugar water or molasses. The insects would enter through the bottom, becoming trapped inside. Fly catchers were covered so guests would not witness the process during their use. The object above the dining room table is called a punka. It originates from India. Commonly called a shoe fly fan. The piece is operated with a cord and pulley system. And there would have been a young slave boy standing in the corner operating it. His job, keep the fan continuously moving fast enough to create a nice breeze, but not so fast as to blow out the candles. During the summer months, full of ice, was placed on the center of the table. The air cooled by the ice, leaving a very comfortable environment. Clearly noticing the large rolling pin in the center of the bathroom.
This is what they put over the windows when somebody passed away.
No.
I mean, this is what they put over the mirrors when someone passed away.
Along the Mississippi River, each property was divided into small, narrow sections. And the reason for this is that each property owner had access to the river, not only for the transportation aspect, but also for the fact that you have fertile land along the river. As you would consider the natural here, it will rot before it can ripen. We're simply too wet. So it is natural to just imagine the Mississippi River, as you go further north of Baton Rouge, a much drier soil, so cotton does much better there. Now you are certainly welcome to, and please come this way. We'll continue here on the veranda, and before we continue around the veranda, I do have more information to share with everyone here. If you would like to look into the lavender room or the master bedroom, we'll continue here with everyone outside. Kathy will take care of our doors once everyone has exited out.
It's pretty.
This alley of oak trees was planted here in the 1700s by an unknown French settler. He planted 28 trees, 14 on each side, which does create a quarter-mile avenue from here to the Mississippi River. Today, we estimate the age of the trees at 300 years old. They do have a life expectancy of 600 years. These are Virginia live oaks. The levee in front of us is 40 feet high today, but during Jock and Selena's time, they could stand here as we are and have seen the waters of the Mississippi River. Their levees, which are through the trees, this was the overseer's cottage. He was in charge of the plantation when the owner was.
No, it's pretty good. Thanks.
This amazing is Josephine's great nephew, her younger sister Julia's the foundation and plantation are in the hands of
Interesting that women got the most difficult work. Possibly because they were less expensive than a man to purchase.